Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. Now on today's show, we're actually going to be dealing with a topic that kind of comes a bit from a comment in, Friday's show? And we're going to be expanding on it from there. Now, Yellow, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, said, I so want a small stealth scout ship. And I agree, but to a certain degree, I think that ship is already there. Now, the recently unveiled Razor EX, obviously small, fast, supposed to be stealth, but to what degree? You know, science TBD, but possibly that could be a small stealth scout ship, but what kind of sensors is it really going to pack? Does it really have the room for some really sophisticated sensors? Probably not. It depends. A lot of this is riding on things in item 2.0 and what items through that system get put in the game, right? So you're not really too sure what it's going to end up being. So it could possibly serve its purpose, but maybe not. Now, according to the Hornet brochure, you can actually take the radar off the Hornet tracker and put it on the Hornet Ghost, and that radar can be operated in passive mode. So potentially there's another stealth scout ship, possibly. Once again, science TBD, and that's based off of a brochure going all the way back to what, 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. Though arguably that does kind of leave a dedicated scout slot open, especially a stealth version of the scout. And I think that there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to perhaps right a wrong, to fix a mistake, and to give new life to a ship that, since its release, has largely become forgotten. And I'm talking about the Khartu-al. That's right, the Zeon Scout. Now this is a dedicated scouting ship. This is the, I guess, lighter version of the primary fighter for the Zeon, or Zian, or Zian, or however they want to pronounce it. This is the lighter version, which is designated as a scout. Apparently there is a larger fighter version, or a much more heavily armed fighter version, and hopefully very much so. This is kind of a ship that has a slight unfortunate history to it. Many people will remember that when this ship was first unveiled, it was 6 guns. And that was, just paper stats. Now, yes, things can change in development, and unfortunately for the Scout, that proved more true than many other ships in Star Citizen, because it went from 6 guns to 4 guns and 2 seats, and then it went down to 2 guns and 1 seat. This is a ship that really has, I think it has a lot of potential. It's a very interesting looking ship. It's a very beautiful ship. But at the same time, I think it's been underserved by mistakes. Now, originally, yes, it was supposed to have 2 seats. Then it ended up only having 1 seat. The explanation is that the artist who was responsible for bringing the ship to life was working off of an old stat sheet that listed it as a single-seater, and so never accommodated the 2nd seat. Now, in all fairness to CIG, for anyone who has owned the Scout, flown the Scout, myself included in that number, you can easily see how it would have been very difficult to accommodate a 2nd pilot within the confines of that ship. There's not a lot of room to spare. So, yeah, I can understand that. I can see that point, and I can say, you know what, I'm disappointed. But yeah, that's the way it is, and I can accept it. One of the problems, though, that I have with it in its current form and its current shape is that it's severely undergunned. Severely. Remember, this is a ship that has no missiles whatsoever. And it only has 2 gimbaled size 3 guns. That's it. Now you can honestly say, well, it's a scout ship, so it's not really supposed to be heavily armed. I mean, there is that designation / light fighter, but realistically, does it really justify only having 2 guns and no missiles whatsoever, despite it's supposed to have, you know, a heavier shield? I don't think so. I think what you can do is you can take that ship, make a couple of changes to it, and make it really interesting while still keeping the 2-gun configuration with no missiles. What if you made the Zeon Scout a stealth ship? You know, apart from just obviously painting it matte black, because that's what stealth looks like, but if it only has the 2 guns and it has a really sophisticated Zeon sensor system on it and it's very stealthy, then a lot of the other problems with that ship melt away. They really do melt away. All of a sudden, it becomes a really interesting ship because you've added the element of stealth, which I think negates any argument towards it being much more heavily armed. Then 2 gimbaled size 3s seems a little bit more fair if it's something that's difficult to spot. Sure, it's got strong shields, but maybe you can dial those shields down so when you're in stealth mode, those shields maybe aren't all that valuable, but when you're in combat, you can flip those shields up. You're definitely not going to be that stealthy anymore, but you're going to be a little bit more survivable, and you're still going to have that speed and that maneuverability, and it makes it, I think, a much more interesting ship. And then you've got that stealth scout ship niche covered. I think by taking the idea of a scout ship, a fast, stealthy scout ship, or just a stealthy scout ship at all, and just kind of melding that into the Zeon Scout and using that as an opportunity to maybe revisit the Zeon Scout a little bit in a couple of areas, I think that that kind of would round this ship out a little bit and kind of breathe some new life into it, because honestly, right now, it's kind of an undergunned, slightly oversized question mark in the universe. Like, it looks cool. Well, at least from my eyes. You know, I realize beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but from my eyes, it looks cool, but it's that undergunned ship. It's that ship that's catastrophically undergunned. Add a stealth element to it, now I see it. Now I can go and say, you know what? Yeah, I can see that now. And I think that that would be an interesting way to kind of breathe new life into this design. Of course, it would offer the opportunity to, once again, sell the ship again, but at least this time, it's a ship that you've already delivered. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the idea of a stealth scout ship. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.